Year's Day 1983, the Sugar Bowl, Penn State against Georgia. Penn State All-American Kurt Warner scampers 9 yards for a touchdown, and the Nittany Lions go on to wrap up the national championship after a victory over the Bulldogs. Now one of the top runners in the National Football League, Warner returns to Pennsylvania for the first time in his pro career today as he faces the Steelers, hoping to lead the Seattle Seahawks to their first AFC title.
I'm in town to take care of business. I'm not in town to do a social visit. So my responsibilities lie on what has to be done.
And Warner leads a Seattle team that is in the running for a divisional title or a wild card playoff berth, currently in third place but just a game out in the AFC West. In the Central, the Steelers also have playoff hopes, currently tied for second, just a game behind division leader Cleveland. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Three Rivers Stadium on a chilly afternoon in Pittsburgh. Tom Hammond, along with former Seattle linebacker Michael Jackson. Yes, Kurt Warner does return to Pennsylvania today. How important is he to this Seahawk team?
Kurt Warner is a double-edged sword for the Seattle Seahawks. When he's rushed for over 100 yards, they are 16-3. His running abilities open up the passing lanes for Dave Krieg, so that's very important for the Seahawks.
Well, the passing game for the Steelers has struggled all season. Mark Malone has had a rough year, but the defense of the Steelers has been outstanding.
Mark Malone is the lowest-rated passer in the NFL. Despite his problems, though, the team still believes in him 100%. They do rely on the defense. The defense has scored 6 touchdowns by returning interceptions. That's as many touchdown passes as Mark Malone has thrown.
Well, each team had a devastating loss in its last outing. Perhaps the team that bounces back today will be the winner.
Historically, the Seattle Seahawks have bounced back very well from a Monday night loss. Chuck Knox knows how to get them excited, and this game should be no different than any of the others.
And there are the two opposing coaches who share more than just a first name, a tradition of excellence, 320 wins in the National Football League between them. The Pittsburgh Steelers have won the toss and will receive, and the kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. There's Norm Johnson who will kick it off for the white-shirted Seahawks, and deep for the Steelers are Woodson and Stone. Temperature down in the 30s in Pittsburgh this afternoon. A chilly afternoon, but a good crowd on hand in this crucial game for both teams. Johnson's kick is short. Taken by Stone. At the 20, across the 25 to the 27-yard line, and a flag goes down. Paul Moyer downfield for the Seahawks, making the stop, and a late flag on the play. Gordon McCarter is our referee. And it will be against the Steelers. Eric Lane is the man that's injured on the field. Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh offense now. Mark Malone, the quarterback, has had only 6 touchdown passes, 14 interceptions.
Number 56, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
There's the call against Robin Cole on the kickoff return. You see the great John Stallworth, always a threat. Frank Pollard starts in place of the Steelers' leading rusher, Ernest Jackson, who is out for the 3rd straight game with injuries. On the offensive line, Buddy Idolette, the new face there, replacing the injured Ray Penny. And Webster today sets a Steeler record by playing in his 201st game. So the Steelers, after the penalty, will begin from their own 16-yard line. There's Eric Lane being helped to his feet.
It's one of those injuries on special teams you always run into. Somebody's going to block you from behind or hit you low. Special teams, that's why they call it the suicide squad. You never know what's going to happen when you're going downfield.
Let's take a look at the Seattle Seahawks defense, ranked 6th in the AFC. The line headed by former first-round picks Green and Bryant. Among the linebackers, Bosworth, of course, has gotten all the ink, but Fred Young, who's been to the Pro Bowl 3 straight years, having another outstanding season. And again, right away is to Pollard. Frank Pollard straight ahead behind that offensive line with the trap. Goes up across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Secondary of the Seahawks, led by Kenny Easley, been to 4 Pro Bowls and is the top interceptor on the Seahawk club this year. 6-yard gain by Pollard on the first run for the Steelers. 2nd and 4 for Pittsburgh from the 22. Pollard in motion. This is Abercrombie trying to pick his way and was thrown back to the center of the Seahawks defense. Fred Young and Jacob Green leading the charge for the Seahawks.
One of the big problems the Seahawks had last week was they were slanting their line to the strong side, which means the linebackers have to back up that line by going slow opposite the direction the ball goes. They were flying too fast last week, and that's why Bo Jackson has such a great outing against them.
Knox hopes to take the Seahawks back to the playoffs this year and is returning to his home area. A lot of friends in the Pittsburgh area where Chuck Knox grew up. 3rd and 1 for the Steelers. It'll be close. Fred Young again in the center of that defense for the Seahawks.
Well, Fred Young is having one outstanding year for the Seattle Seahawks. He is underrated as a linebacker. Here you see him coming up into the hole, flowing to the ball, making an outstanding hit. The Pittsburgh Steelers normally run traps. This is a straight dive play. Fred Young slides over and makes the big hit. The lineman is blocking down in front of him, so it leaves that clear opening for a clean shot on the running back.
They'll measure for the first down. You talk about linebackers filling the holes. That was a good example of Fred Young filling that hole and throwing the ball carrier back. It is, though, just by the nose of the football, enough for the Steeler first down.
It's interesting right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, known for trapping, have all been straight dives.
And 3 carries, enough for a first down. The drive began on the 16. It's now to the 26. And the Steelers in the first down. Across the 30, then thrown back by Jacob Green at the bottom of the stack for the Seahawks.
The offensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now is winning the first down. Take a look at that offensive line. See how they fire off. They're getting off the ball, covering their man on the blocks, making the Seattle Seahawks back up to get off the blockers and then come and make the play. Right now, Pittsburgh's winning first down.
They got 5 yards on that first down play. And Abercrombie the setbacks. 2nd and 5. Abercrombie cuts up to the 45-yard line and a Steeler first down. 15-yard gain. Kenny Easley made the saving tackle on Abercrombie.
Kenny Easley makes the tackle, but take a look at number 74, Terry Long. He's going to come through the middle of that line, get Brian Bosworth blocked off, and that makes the opening for the outside just wide open. There's nobody there. Brian has got to get out there. Ouija Thompson makes an outstanding block on the outside to clear that corner.
And there was that trap we've been waiting for. The first one very successful. It gives the Steelers a first down at their own 45. Abercrombie in motion. Malone hands to Pollard. Gets outside into Seahawk territory and down to the 42-yard line of Seattle. That one went for 13 yards before Jeff Bryant made the hit.
Another look at this offensive line. That is what's the difference in this game right now. The offensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 2 guards, Wolfley, number 73, and Terry Long, number 74. You'll see Terry Long coming outside. He's going to take the long route around, bump into the linebacker there, but then the outside is open all over again. Calvin Sweeney makes a nice block downfield. You couldn't see that first block. He got Bosworth and then got off and got Terry Taylor.
First down play. They've been very successful on first down. Counterplay, Pollard gets a block outside. Big hole. He's down inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Pollard rambling for another good gain of 17 yards. And Eugene Robinson, the free safety, forced to make the tackle. They're opening up not only holes, but avenues in that defense of Seattle.
They're opening up some big holes in there. Brian Bosworth is having a heck of a time right now. He's being frozen in the middle. Can't get off that block in time to get his arm out there, to get his body in position to make the tackle. And it's a big game for the Steelers again.
Frank Pollard, starting in place of Ernest Jackson, has carried 5 times for 40 yards on this first drive. First down at the 27. That'd be an audible here from Malone. Pitch it to Pollard. Stopped at the 22-yard line. Got about 5 yards on that play.
Terry Long, number 74, is doing an excellent job. Brian Bosworth again on this play. You see him taking on the block, but he's got to get off the block a little bit quicker. This is the problem they had last week, overrunning the ball. Terry Long doing an excellent job on Brian Bosworth right now. He's going to have a rough day against Terry Long.
Boz is already having a rough day. We saw him yesterday. He didn't have that black and gold of his opponents in his hair. Maybe that's bothering him today because he has been victimized on this first drive. 2nd and 5 for the Steelers. Abercrombie cuts up and is stopped on a nice tackle at the 19-yard line. That was Joe Nash that took him to the turf with a hard hit and saved what looked to be a pretty good gain coming up.
Well, they looked to have that corner sealed off, but the defensive line for the Seattle Seahawks got out there and cut it off. Therefore, Joe Nash was able to get off Mike Webster, who's one of the best centers in football, and make the play.
Old style, rock'em sock'em Steeler football. They face a 3rd and 2 now. They have yet to attempt a pass on this drive, which began at the 16 of the Steelers, now at the 19 of Seattle. Stallworth in motion. First pass for the Steelers. Malone had a man wide open. Stallworth at the 10 and threw it behind him, and the boos rained down. Melvin Jenkins defending on the play, but Stallworth was open.
Very unfortunate. Stallworth was wide open over the middle. The defender did not come in motion with him. He ran down, ran a pick play on Patrick Hunter and Jenkins in the middle. You see easily coming inside. Stallworth is all alone. The ball was just behind him.
So Gary Anderson is on to attempt a 37-yard field goal on 4th down. It is up. It's good. So the Pittsburgh Steelers begin on their own 16 and drive down to get 3. And here in the first quarter with 9:07 left, the Steelers break on top. Against the Chargers, and the Astrodome gets a quick touchdown. We don't know if Warren Moon is playing in that one or not. We'll find out. And Detroit with an early lead against the Rams. Here at Three Rivers Stadium, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers 3 and the Seattle Seahawks nothing with 9:07 left in the first quarter. And Gary Anderson set to kick off for Pittsburgh. Edmonds and Morris are deep, and this is Bobby Joe Edmonds. Good return by Edmonds. Picks his way out to the 30-yard line before Cornell Gowdy is able to put the clamps on him. But a good return by Bobby Joe Edmonds, who is 3rd in the AFC in kickoff returns, averaging 20.8 a return. There's the Seattle offense. Dave Krieg leading it. It's been better on the ground than through the air. Warner is 3rd in the AFC in rushing. Trails Dickerson and Rozier. The incomparable Largent, though, the top AFC receiver. Veteran offensive line anchored by the guards, Bailey and Millard. First down play for Seattle. Kurt Warner hit, bounces off the tackler, and then out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Looked like he'd be stopped for no gain. He got 5 yards out of it. Delton Hall finally forced him out of bounds. Here's the Steeler defense now. Keith Gary starts at end, replacing the injured Keith Willis. Steeler linebackers a strong point. Little, the leading tackler, Pro Bowl performer Merriweather, leads the team in sacks. 2 rookies, Hall and Everett, start in the secondary, joined by the 35-year-old Donnie Shell and the 8-year-old veteran Dwayne Woodruff. They lead the NFL in interceptions and the AFC, of course, as well, with 23 pickoffs this year. Largent is in motion on 2nd and 3. Craig hands it back again to Kurt Warner. He's up to the 40-yard line and close to a first down. Gary Dunn, the nose tackle, gets in on the stop.
Pittsburgh feels that they have to win the first down battle to stop the Seattle Seahawks. Yesterday, talking to the guys, they all said that they've got to control the ball on first down. Seahawks love to run, so their job is to stop the run on the first down and then force them into the passing situations.
They're going to measure for the first down as Warner carried right to the first down marker. Coming into the game, 680 yards in rushing for Warner. 3rd in the AFC behind Dickerson and Rozier. He scored 5 touchdowns, and that's 2nd in the conference. Just inches short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and inches for the Seahawks.
Pittsburgh sending in some beat people right now, the big guys up front.
In a very 3rd and short situation, will they go to Warner again? Will they try John Williams, the big fullback? They're in the I formation. Williams the fullback, Warner the tailback. This is Warner. Hit at the line. It'll be close depending on the spot of the football. David Little, number 50, leading the charge of the Steeler defense. Also Carr, Greg Carr, getting in on the play. It will be enough for a first down, though.
That's one that you would ask for a remeasure on. The offensive line for the Seattle Seahawks fires off the ball, but the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line is meeting the challenge. Everybody's getting to the ball. Mike Merriweather comes from behind, tries to pull Warner back, but it was too late. They picked up the first down.
Just barely, and it will be a first down Seahawks at the 41 of Seattle. Williams, John L. Williams picks his way forward up to the 48-yard line. Thomas Everett finally able to stop him with help from Brian Hinkle, but he's tough to bring down. Williams, 5'11", 226 pounds, two-year veteran out of the University of Florida, who broke in with a bang last year on the all-rookie team and is known for his blocking, but carried the ball very well that time. He got 6. It's 2nd and 4. Two tight ends for the Seahawks, Tice and Strozier. Warner to midfield and close to the first down, maybe just a yard short. Robin Cole, the inside linebacker, and Mike Merriweather, the outside backer on the right side, combining for the tackle.
Seattle Seahawks offensive line is doing a good job. Right now, they're just getting a stalemate with that defensive line for Pittsburgh, hanging on to the guys, not letting them get off the blocks, and then letting the running backs run up in there and just bang into the backs of the big guys and lunge forward for yardage.
Eric Lane joins the backfield. He was shaken up on the kickoff. Steve Largent goes out. It's 3rd and less than a yard. Warner, he's got the first down. Greg Carr, David Little stacking up the middle of the defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but again, Warner needed less than a yard, and he was able to pick it up, and the Seahawks now 2 for 2 on 3rd downs.
Brian Millard, number 71, you see him pulling around there, leading Kurt Warner up through the hole. Seahawks are doing nothing special right now, just going to basic ground chuck offense. They're going to make Pittsburgh come off those blocks and force them into passing situations.
26 yards against the Raiders, but today Warner has already carried for 15. He's trying to add to that total right here. Doesn't get much, a couple at best, with Donnie Shell, the veteran, 35-year-old strong safety, coming up to make the tackle.
That's the way to beat the Seattle Seahawks. Donnie Shell yesterday said he was the person who told me we have to win first down. He's going to come up, he's going to force hard on that run. He is one of the oldest players in the league at 35, and he still loves the game. He has a joy for the game. He wants to be a complete player.
Number 2 active intercept leader in the NFL. Has 51 interceptions career behind Dave Brown, who has 52. 2nd and 9 for the Seahawks. Flags fly. The Steelers may have been offside. Let's see if they were drawn. Gary Dunn from the nose tackle came flying across the line. So the Steelers had the Seahawks backed up 2nd and 9, but the penalty may get Seattle out of the hole.
Encroachment, contact foul, defense.
Indeed, it will be a 5-yard step off against the Steelers.
You see Gary Dunn in the middle of your screen, and just about the rest of that defensive line for Pittsburgh.
It was Gary Dunn.
Dave Krieg, voice inflection is partly responsible for that. You can give him 5 yards on that.
So spot the ball at the 42 of Pittsburgh and make it 2nd and 4 now for Seattle. 5:20 left in the first quarter, 3-0 Steelers. John L. Williams stopped for no gain. Thomas Everett came up from that free safety spot. The rookie out of Baylor, the 4th-round draft choice, made a tough hit against John L. Williams.
For a free safety, Thomas Everett is one of the hardest-hitting defensive backs in the league. Donnie Shell said he's going to be another Mel Blount, one of those people who loves to come up and hit. Mel Blount, the former Steeler, great years here in Pittsburgh.
And Everett really comes up quickly from that safety spot against the run. They spot the ball across the 40, so it'll be 3rd and 2. Remember, the Seahawks have converted both 3rd down situations in this drive. Lane is on a wing left. Pitch it to Williams. On the sweep, Williams has the first down. It is out of bounds inside the 35 of the Steelers. Dwayne Woodruff making the stop. Let's go to Bob Costas for an update. Here in Pittsburgh, the Steelers with a 3-0 lead. 4:24 left in the first quarter, but the Seahawks are driving with a first down at the Pittsburgh 32-yard line. First pass of the day for Seattle. Krieg has a man wide open. It's Williams out of the backfield. Slips his way down to the 24-yard line where he's covered by Delton Hall. David Little also gets an assist on the play, but out of the backfield, Williams was wide open for his 18th catch of the year.
Delton Hall, number 35, defensive back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has man-to-man coverage on Steve Largent downfield. He's got him covered very well, so Dave Krieg has no other choice but to come back and dump it off to John L. Williams in the flat. Delton Hall comes back and makes a tackle anyway.
It was good for 8 yards. 2nd and 2 coming up for Seattle from the 24 of Pittsburgh. Flags down as Williams carries and plows straight ahead short of the 20. Gary Dunn finally takes his feet out from under him with Edmund Nelson getting a piece of him. And it looked like the voice inflection, which you could hear from Dave Krieg that time, might have drawn Pittsburgh offside again. Let's see.
Offside, left defensive tackle.
Well, they have a nose tackle and 2 defensive ends. He could have been talking about Keith Gary.
Offside, left defensive tackle, 5-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
He didn't get the number, neither did we.
It will be a first down at the 19-yard line on the penalty, the 2nd encroachment penalty against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the 11th play of the Seahawk drive with a first down at the 19. Larson in motion. Krieg hands to Warner, tries to cut up and is slammed to the turf by Keith Gary. No gain on the play. Here's Bob Costas in New York. All right, thanks, Bob. I didn't hear you the first time. I didn't realize no one heard you. It's 3-0 here at Three Rivers with the Steelers in front. The Seahawks threatening. Warner tries to get outside. Takes it down to the 16-yard line where Thomas Everett makes the stop. The clock continues to roll now at 2.5 minutes in the first quarter. The other scores around the National Football League today, with the divisional races getting right down to the crucial stage now. San Francisco on top of Green Bay. The Giants continue to lead. No score in that Indianapolis-Cleveland game, as you see. The Atlanta Falcons breaking on with top of Dallas 14-0. And Detroit has tied it up against the Rams. 3-0 Pittsburgh here. 3rd and 7 for the Seahawks. They've been very good on third down plays. Perfect so far on this drive. Krieg's in the shotgun. Pressure. Krieg's pass almost intercepted. On the tip drill, the Steelers almost got it. The intended receiver was Scansey, but off his hands. Good coverage on the play. Wide Rod Woodson was right there.
That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers needed, was a nice rush. You see Paul Scansey in the middle of your screen. If Dave Krieg had looked to his right, Steve Largent had a zone coverage against Lupe Sanchez, and he ended up wide open.
Rod Woodson, the rookie, defending on the play and doing a good job. And so on 4th down, Norm Johnson is on to attempt a field goal to try to tie the game up. It'll be a 34-yard attempt. Jeff Kemp, the backup quarterback, is the holder. It's up, and it is good. Officially from 33 yards, Norm Johnson, off the Seahawks' first drive, ties the game at 3-3. Mean Joe Green. It was Chuck Noll's first draft pick back in 1969. Just this past summer, inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and in his first year as a Steeler assistant coach. Has to be an inspiration to those young guys to have a Hall of Famer getting down in the trenches with you and showing you the techniques that he used in his career.
I'm sure it brings a lot of that the Steeler glory years back to Pittsburgh when Joe Green's walking around coaching the guys and feeding them all that stuff, that they can go out and be winners, that they can go out and do exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers of the 70s did.
That steel curtain defense of Pittsburgh, and they still love their defense here in the Iron City. However, here in the first quarter, it's been the offenses that have predominated. Each team driving down the field for a field goal. We're 3-3 with 1:47 left in the first. Norm Johnson with a kick taken by Stone at the goal line. Excuse me, it's Woodson on the return, and Woodson is stopped at the 23-yard line by Sam Merriman. So Rod Woodson, the track star, takes the kickoff, and here's Boz on special teams.
You see Brian coming down. One of the things that is his problem, he's going to be double-teamed. All the glory and all the hype that he's getting, the teams are going to pick on him all season long and into next year until he gets them off his back.
Bosworth comes into the game as the second leading tackler on the team with 54, and third on the squad in sacks with 3. Having his problems here early in this game. First down for the Steelers. Abercrombie cuts up the middle. Cuts back and takes it to the 34-yard line. Kenny easily pins him there, but it'll be a Steeler first down as they continue to move the football on the ground. That one went for 11 yards.
Brian Bosworth gets sealed off on this play. At the top of your screen, number 55, you see him being tracked back on by 62. That opens up. Brian has got to get over. When the backs go opposite him, he's got to slide over, and Pittsburgh's doing a great job in sealing him off.
How do you assess the play of the Boz so far? Not in this game, but for the season.
He's thinking too much.
Isn't that natural for a rookie?
I'll get into that a little bit later.
First down, Steelers at the 34. Pitch it back to Abercrombie. Picks his way and gets nothing. Thrown back by the white-shirted Seahawk defense with Joe Nash leading the charge.
Getting back to Brian Bosworth, the reason I say he's thinking too much, he's trying to analyze every play as it happens. You got to let your natural instinctive football abilities come out. And right now he's thinking too much. The complexity of this game has him confused. It's like when you shine the light on a cockroach. It's going to freeze before it moves. And that's what Brian's doing right now.
I'm sure you'll appreciate that characterization. I'll have to get to him after the game and tell him. Maybe it's because he's wearing your old number, 55. Here's Malone going to the air. Plenty of time. And he completes his first pass of the game, but a short gain only to the 40, where tight end Danzel Lee makes the grab and is immediately taken down by Bruce Schultz. 4 seconds left in the first quarter. We won't get another play off. And the whistle sounds, ending the first quarter of play here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. We're tied 3-3, the Steelers and the Seahawks, and we'll be back to Pittsburgh in just a moment. Stats at the end of the first quarter. The Steelers outgaining the Seahawks on the ground, and not much in the passing department for either team, with almost double the yardage total for the Steelers over the Seahawks. Time of possession very even, and the score very even. In fact, it's 3-3 as the Steelers on the first play of the second quarter face a third down and about 3 yards to go for the first down. Seahawks showing blitz, and they back out of it. Malone. Pass dropped by Stallworth. The pass a little high. Stallworth couldn't hold it as he was taken down by Melvin Jenkins.
Pass was a little high, but that's one that you expect John Stallworth, especially John Stallworth, to come up with. He's got good protection. Malone does. He finds Stallworth out in the flat. He's wide open. A little bit high, but those are the kind you're supposed to come up with. The great ones always come up with those, and Stallworth, unfortunately, doesn't this time.
Harry Newsome is on to punt, the third leading AFC punter, averaging 41.7 a kick. Bobby Joe Edmonds is deep for the Seahawks, and Newsome gets it off a low kick. Edmonds takes it and drops it. Gets a good bounce, though, and is taken down by the Steelers. Edmonds was lucky he got a turf bounce. It came right back in his hands, and then Dwight Stone leveled him. A 40-yard kick by Newsome.
Bobby Joe Edmonds uses something that his father gave him. He used to play in the ABA, the Old American Basketball Association. He comes up with a basketball bounce, comes out with that one. Seahawks first down.
Gentlemen, Art Rooney, Steelers chairman of the board, longtime owner of this franchise, and one of the great men around the National Football League, always very hospitable when we come to Steelerland. And we're watching the game in 30-degree weather today. Krieg on first down, hands it off to Warner, and Kurt Warner is stopped short of the 30-yard line by Edmund Nelson. The scores, no change in those. Still no score up at Cleveland Stadium. Jay Schrader with a touchdown pass. Washington on top of St. Louis. Houston adds to its lead against San Diego. And Atlanta still leading, but Dallas gets a field goal. Here's Cincinnati with the first score in that game. Here at Three Rivers, it's 3-3 with 14:15 left in the second quarter. Seahawks with a 2nd and 6. Warner's carried 9 times, 23 yards so far. Lines up now in the tailback spot. And off to Warner. Spinning. Ball's down at about the 34, 35-yard line. Gary Dunn pins him there. Perhaps tripped him up with Thomas Everett, who again plays that run very well. The rookie comes up to make sure that Warner stays down.
The secondary is rotating into Steve Largen's side. That allows the free safety to come up and get into the middle of that running situation. So they got a lot of support coming for the run.
3rd and 1 for the Seahawks, who have converted 3 of 4 third downs so far in the game. In zone view as Dave Krieg calls signals. Williams across the 35, and apparently enough for the first down. Edmund Nelson, the defensive end, the 6-year veteran out of Auburn, and Greg Carr, who's playing a lot for Brian Hinkle today, combining on the tackle.
That running play there was all decided by the referees because from the different sides of the field, one came saying that it was short, the other one came saying that it was just long enough to get that first down. They decided to go with the guy who came from the Seahawks side of the field.
How do they decide which one prevails there?
It came from the Seahawks side of the field that time. I think Chuck Knox sent him in there with a message.
First down at the 35 for the Seahawks. Keep it on the ground. John L. Williams got a yard or 2, then thrown back with David Little blasting in there, and Hardy Nickerson got a piece of Williams as well. Little getting up slowly.
A lot of tough hitting going in there. Again, number 27, Thomas Everett, the free safety, was in there throwing his punches. They're going to get to that ball very effectively. You know, that is going to open up that long bomb if they decide to go for a post pattern.
2nd and 8 for the Seahawks. 12-12 to play second quarter, a 3-3 game. I formation, Williams the fullback, and Warner the tailback. Largent, who has yet to catch a pass, is in motion. And they keep it on the ground to Warner. He's stopped at the 40-yard line. David Little celebrating the tackle on Warner, who has carried now 11 times for 29 or 30 yards.
Pittsburgh Steelers are winning the battle up front on that run. Getting back to the pregame when they said they have to control the run, that's exactly what they're doing right now. They're physically beating the Seahawks up front.
3rd and 5 for the Seahawks. Double wide receivers to either side. Krieg in the shotgun. And a pass complete for the first down. It was complete to Ray Butler on the sideline. Thomas Everett, the rookie, was covering, but a 16-yard gain as Krieg picks up the first down on the strike to Butler.
The Steelers secondary is playing a zone deep with man coverage underneath. Ray Butler comes downfield, reads it. Nobody can get to that zone. He passed through the man coverage area and into the zone. Dave Krieg drops the ball in there perfectly.
Knox's team has been very good on third down conversions today. They convert that 3rd and long and have a first down at the Steeler 43.
I think they're calling for a replay right now.
The play is being reviewed. Will the clock operator please return the game clock to 11:17. 11:17.
Mark Burns is the replay official, and they're reviewing that pass completion to Butler. Are they checking to see if he was in bounds or had 2 feet in bounds? That's the only thing I could think of.
What they may be checking to see is if he bobbled the ball and had complete control of it when he was hit and knocked out of bounds. He passes through that man-to-man coverage again. He never quite got that second foot down, I don't think, but they're giving it to him anyway.
Well, we're ready to go now at the 43. The play stands, and the Seahawks with the first down. Kurt Warner picks his way to the 42-yard line. Hardy Nickerson at the bottom of the stack, number 54, the first-year player out of the University of Pittsburgh.
Hardy Nickerson, they say here in Pittsburgh that Hardy Nickerson is learning Robin Cole's position, and they call that the hitman position. Hardy Nickerson, number 54. That last play, the one that the referees were having a discussion about, see if Butler gets that right foot down. He gets one down. He's got both of them. He's got both of them. I don't see what the discussion was about.
2nd and 9 for the Seahawks. Warner, good running by Kurt Warner. He's got a first down for Seattle at the 32-yard line. Hardy Nickerson again makes the tackle, but 11 yards for Warner. who gets another Seahawk first down. Nickerson out of the University of California, like I said, Pittsburgh a moment ago.
Kurt Warner, one of the best running backs at picking his position to cut and his holes to cut in. There you see him coming in and out. He's just amazing the way he gets those feet down, planted, and then going the opposite direction.
Is he a tough man to get a solid hit on?
He really is, because he doesn't want to be hurt. So he's going to cut away from you and give his body up.
Missed a whole season, did Warner, with a serious knee injury, but has come back to prime form. Gives the Seahawks a first down at the 31 and carries again. Hit hard. Stopped for maybe a loss of one on the play. Gary Dunn came storming through with Greg Carr, and they hit Warner just as soon as he got the football. Keith Gary also got a piece of it.
Some interesting things going on away from the football. Delton Hall, number 35, is going up against Ray Butler, and they're going to have a little pushing match after it's all said and done. Some previous plays before they've been going at it, and this time Delton Hall seems to get the best of it.
No gain for Warner. It's 2nd and 10 for the Seahawks at the 31 of the Steelers. 9 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the first half. We've got a 3-3 tie. Williams on the draw. Down to the 27-yard line. David Little finally recovering after being back in pass protection, and Donnie Shell also came up. We've got a flag down.
Delton Hall is going to be becoming something to deal with throughout the future of his career. He's going to be aggressive. Look at Brian Millard. He goes up against Millard. They're going to catch him right here for a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 35 defense after the play. Half the distance penalty, first down.
That was a stupid play by the rookie out of Clemson.
This is one of those wrestling moves, the headbutt on big Brian Millard.
Not only do you not gain anything by banging your helmet against a big guy by Millard, but it cost you the penalty after the play was over.
Rookie mistake, over-aggressive right now.
Seahawks at the 13 with a first down. Trying to break a 3-3 tie. Krieg, quarterback draw. He's hit and dropped. Gary Dunn not fooled on the quarterback draw.
Gary Dunn played that play just perfectly. He's going up against Blair Bush, number 59, the center for the Seahawks, and he just manhandled him, saw Dave Krieg start running out of the pocket, slipped the block, and made a nice tackle.
Krieg got a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 12.
With the exception of that penalty, the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't played too badly so far.
Crowd picks up the noise level here at Three Rivers. Split backs are Williams and Warner. Krieg for the end zone. Largent. Touchdown. Steve Largent, the veteran, beating Dwayne Woodruff for a 12-yard touchdown grab. He's caught a pass now at an NFL record 149 straight.
Steve Largent coming right at you. You try to defend this. Dwayne Woodruff does not know whether Largent is going inside or outside. And that's what's so good about Steve Largent. They're going to review this right now.
I don't think he got both feet down. He only had 1 foot down in the end zone. Steve Dan's our producer, John Gonzalez our director, with that picture. And you hear the crowd reacting as they saw it on the big screen here at Three Rivers. And yes, they are reviewing it.
Steve Largent, if anybody can get him down, he can, and this is going to be tough.
1 and out.
It depends on when he caught that ball. It depends on when he caught the ball.
Here it is again. They've ruled it a touchdown. He's got the catch. One.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Steve Largent adds to that NFL record of consecutive game receptions and gets a touchdown as well. Norm Johnson tries to add the extra point. Kemp on the scramble, lost it for the end zone, and it's no good. It's intercepted by Pittsburgh. Let's look at the touchdown again. Did Steve Largent get both feet down after making the catch?
It all depends on when you consider the catch made. The catch is now I think he did. I think he did at that
Well,
point.
the officials did too, and Seattle's in front. Michael, does Largent make a little stutter step here that maybe counts as getting both in?
That has to be it. You see the ball coming in. Largent gets a little dance step, a little ballet step in there, and that may be where he got the touchdown.
You saw that little stutter step, and I guess the question would be, did he really have control of the football by that time? And the officials, after looking at the replay, say he did. Largent now with 149 straight games, catching at least one pass and adding to his NFL record. And adding another touchdown to his record as well. His 7th touchdown this season and the 94th of his career. Don Hudson has only 5 more touchdown catches with 99. That's the all-time NFL record. Here's the kickoff by Johnson. It's a short one, and it's taken by Stone. Dwight Stone trying to get outside. Pushes his way forward across the 30 to the 32-yard line. 21-yard return where Melvin Jenkins finally makes the tackle for Seattle. So the Pittsburgh Steelers will put it into play when we come back, trailing 9 for Pittsburgh. 7:36 to play in the second quarter, with Seattle leading the Steelers 9-3. Pittsburgh with a first down at its own 33-yard line. The Steelers have almost doubled time of possession over Seattle, but trail by 6 after Seattle missed the extra point. It's 9-3. Malone with a pass. It's complete to Ouija Thompson. He's got about 8 yards on the game, with Terry Taylor finally making the stop. And with a bit of satire in their applause, the fans give an ovation to Malone for the completed pass.
There was a lot of sarcasm in that one. Caught the Seahawks off guard on first down, go for the pass. They usually come out running and pick up 8 yards. That's a big gain for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ouija Thompson, who at 6'6" is one of the biggest wide receivers in the NFL. 2nd and 2 from the 41. Pollard. Big hole for Pollard. Into Seahawk territory, down to the 47-yard line. Eugene Robinson managed to sling him down there. But Pollard again with good running room, rambles for 13 yards.
Seahawks were playing a man-to-man coverage in the defensive secondary, and Terry Long, number 74, comes out. Watch him at the bottom of your screen come out and trap Greg Gaines. You won't be able to see it, but he laid an excellent block on Gaines, opening up that hole for Pollard, who just rambles downfield.
Pollard, the 8-year veteran out of Baylor, the 3rd leading rusher on the team, having a big afternoon. 7 carries, 59 yards here in the first half. Pollard and Abercrombie, the 2 former Baylor teammates, in the backfield. Dwight Stone that time gets the call, and Stone stumbles forward and gets perhaps 5 yards before Brian Bosworth is able to stop him.
The offensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers now is really coming off the ball. Dwight Stone, all he had to do was follow them up into the hole. That offensive line is doing an excellent job up front. Joe Nash was the reason that play didn't go for more yardage.
2nd and 6 coming up for the Steelers at the 43-yard line. Pollard and Abercrombie, the split backs. Abercrombie in motion. Malone on the draw to Pollard. Still fighting for yardage down to the 40-yard line where Bosworth throws him back. Fred Young also in there to take down Frank Pollard. It'll be 3rd coming up, 3rd and about 3 for the Steelers.
Anytime there's a running play, you can be sure that Fred Young's going to be in there. He loves getting to the ball. He's got a great instinct for coming up on the run and pass.
Pollard heads to the sideline with a 3rd and 3 passing situation, replaced by Rodney Carter. There's Fred Young, the Pro Bowl linebacker with the Seattle Seahawks. 4 years out of New Mexico State. Malone across the middle, incomplete. Intended for Carter, he was open, and the pass too tall. Malone has completed only 44% of his passes this year.
Who do you blame for that one, though? The ball was high, but it was a catchable ball. If you get 2 hands on the ball, they expect you to come up with it. I can't blame Malone for this one.
Malone has been high all day. Is there any certain reason for that?
The defensive line for the Seahawks, they get their hands up very well, so they're forcing him to throw it a little bit higher than he would like.
Newsome in punt formation. Edmonds going to let it go. And it bounces into the end zone for the touchback. A 40-yard punt by Newsom, but there is a flag on the play. And Pittsburgh had someone illegally downfield. Chuck Noll on the sideline has seen his team.
Ineligible downfield, number 55 on the kicking team. Penalty declined, first down.
Ken Woodard was illegally downfield, and the penalty declined. So Chuck Noll's team trying to stay in it. They trail by 6, but the Seahawks have the football. 4:42 left in the second quarter. On the embattled quarterback of the Steelers, another long afternoon so far, at least 2 of 5. Malone, though, doesn't seem to be bothered by all the controversy. The media is on him, the fans are on him, but he maintains his composure. Tice in motion for Seattle on first down. Handoff to Kurt Warner. Lowers his head and pounds across the 25 to the 26-yard line, where he's met by Donnie Shell. Edmund Nelson also getting downfield to bring Warner down. He's carried 15 times for 49 yards this afternoon. Indianapolis finally breaking that tie. Dean Biasucci, a 33-yard field goal for the Colts. Look at the big game between San Diego and Houston. Good news for Seattle fans. The Oilers, 17-0. Warner trying to sweep on the left. Knocked out of bounds by Shell again. We'll complete the scores on our 10-minute ticker. Cincinnati with a 10-0 lead, and Everett with a touchdown pass for the Rams to go up on Detroit 10-6.
Donnie Shell in on that play. What was funny about that one is Delton Hall came up, and he was met on the corner by John L. Williams, who is an excellent blocking fullback. He just ran it right out the field.
3rd and 3. Seattle has converted 5 of 6 third downs. Scansey in motion. Krieg got a high snap, lets it go, intended for Largent, and it's short as they were putting the pressure on Krieg. Dwayne Woodruff was defending for Pittsburgh, and Krieg had to let it go in a hurry, and it came up short.
It's a well-timed blitz by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They came at Krieg with everything that they wanted. They get off on the ball on the perfect snap of the ball. They come out in motion. They see Largent coming in motion, but everybody's committed to that blitz. So all you've got to do is stay back and make sure you don't get beat deep.
On fourth down, Seattle has its rookie punter, Ruben Rodriguez, in, the left-footed kicker. You see his average 40.7. And Rod Woodson is deep for Pittsburgh. High snap. Rodriguez pulls it down and gets away a short kick. Fair catch called for and taken by Everett, one of the up men. So Rodriguez, off the high snap, gets away a poor punt. And Pittsburgh will have good field position. We come back just to 56 left in the first half. Seattle leading Pittsburgh 9-3. And if you can stop shivering in here a little bit, used to that Seattle weather, this would appear to be a crucial series for the Steelers. And Mark Malone needs a little confidence.
Well, he needs to get this team into the end zone. It's very important to him. The boos are starting to come out, and if he can get the crowd off his back, he's going to be a lot better.
All right, the Steelers with a first down at the 48-yard line. Good field position after the 26-yard punt. Abercrombie in motion. Here's Malone. His pass is complete. Short gain on the play, just into Seahawk territory to Ouija Thompson again.
Seattle's not getting a big rush on Mark Malone. That's due to that offensive line. They're protecting him. He's got to get the ball out, and the receivers have got to hang on to the ball. Right now, he's not gone deep. He's only thrown 3 to 4 yard out.
And those are sort of confidence builders, aren't they?
That's what you need to get the crowd off your back to get your confidence going, those 3 to 4 yard outs. You can always go deep later.
This time, a couple of deep threats. Sweeney and Stallworth come wide to the left on 2nd and 6. Pollard, blockers in front, and shaking off the blockers and making the tackle is Jeff Bryant. The 6-year veteran out of Clemson did an excellent job that time, fended off 2 blockers, and took Pollard to the turf.
It was an outstanding play by Jeff Bryant. Terry Long, number 74, the right guard was pulling. Jeff was the only thing between Pollard and a big gain. He fights off the blocks, makes the tackle. Excellent play.
Reminder that we will be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game coming up at the conclusion of the contest. Important third down here, 3rd and 7 for Pittsburgh with 2:40 left on the clock and counting. Malone pumps, he's got plenty of time. Lets it go complete. First down to Charles Lockett at the 30-yard line of the Seahawks.
Mark Malone comes up with one of the biggest plays that he's made this season that I've seen right there, and it's just a complete pass. His feet are not nervous. He doesn't have the nervous feet. He stands in there proud and tall, gets good protection, pump fake, look around, and finds the man for the completion. That's a big play here in Pittsburgh.
23-yard gain. Patrick Hunter, who was victimized by the Raiders on Monday night, was on the coverage that time for Seattle. And we'll take a timeout here for the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Seattle leading 9-3, but the Steelers on the move. In Pittsburgh, Tom Hammond and Michael Jackson. 9-3 Seahawks with 2 minutes left in the first half. And Pittsburgh with a first down at the Seahawk 30. Pollard running hard, stopped at the 26-yard line. Michael, a week ago, Pittsburgh had a couple of good scoring opportunities against the Saints, got down right to the goal line and couldn't score. It was the difference in the game.
Well, they were having problems getting the signals in. They were coming in with messengers bringing the plays in and out, had the wrong personnel in to run the play that they wanted and just couldn't get the play off.
Timeouts left, a full allotment for each team. 2nd and 6 for Pittsburgh. Draw play, Abercrombie. Nothing. And there are the boos.
Sweeney, 85, comes in with a message for the quarterback, and that's the situation we were talking about last week. They're bringing the plays into Malone instead of letting him either call them himself or signaling in from the sideline.
Clock ticking down toward the 1-minute mark, and Pittsburgh doesn't seem to be concerned. Steelers with a 3rd and 4 at the 24-yard line of the Seahawks. Malone, good protection. Fires a strike complete for a first down. Calvin Sweeney in traffic made the catch with Terry Taylor all over it. And Pittsburgh calls a timeout. First timeout by the Steelers. It stops the clock with 43 seconds left.
Calvin Sweeney at the top of your screen is being covered man-to-man by Terry Taylor. Malone gets good protection, perfect protection by his lineman, gets the ball to Sweeney. That's the key right now, the protection that Pittsburgh is affording Mark Malone. He's sitting in the pocket. He doesn't have to move around and have the nervous feet. He can stand in there and look for receivers all over the field.
Well, the last Seahawk touchdown, the controversy over Steve Largent sort of obscured the fact that they did miss the extra point, which could loom large in this game. It's a 9-3 contest right now.
That is a big point. You hate to score a touchdown and miss that almost automatic extra point. And especially with the Seattle Seahawks, they practice that every day, just like everyone else. You don't expect to get a bad snap and have to throw or run your way into the end zone.
First down, Pittsburgh at the 16 of Seattle. Good protection again all day for Malone. Throws it to Abercrombie and incomplete. Well, there was good coverage in the secondary by the Seahawks. Malone had all day, but couldn't find anybody downfield. Finally tried to dump it off to Abercrombie, who couldn't hold it.
That's one of the raps about Malone. He doesn't really have the touch on the football. You don't need to throw the ball that hard to get it to Abercrombie. He could have walked in with the ball on that time had Malone thrown the ball up a little bit higher.
Calvin Sweeney into the lineup, bringing the play from the sideline. 2nd and 10 at the 16-yard line. 37 ticks remaining in the first half. Again, all day for the end zone, and that's way out of the end zone. Good coverage downfield again. Sweeney drew double coverage in that corner of the end zone, and Stallworth had double coverage on the other side as they had only 2 receivers out on the pattern.
Sometimes Malone ought to think about running that ball because he's got a lane open in front of him that's just a free walk into the end zone. He's standing there. He wants to pass the ball. The crowd wants him to pass the ball, but he wants the completions. He should try scrambling now.
Malone is 5 of 10 for 43 yards today. And on 3rd and 10, he looks for a completion. They've converted 3 of 6 third downs in the first half. 30 seconds left. This time Malone feels pressure. He hits Sweeney. inside the 10-yard line. And they stop the clock with 22 seconds left. It'll be 4th down when we come back. After he made the grab 2 yards short of the first down, bringing up a 4th down situation after this completion as Malone drilled it in there to Sweeney.
He drills it in. Sweeney comes from the top after a pick play, and he catches the ball over the middle. One of the most dangerous places on the field to catch a ball is in the middle, and this time Sweeney pays the price. Paul Moyer, number 21, puts a nice lick on him.
And Sweeney being helped to the sideline. And on 4th down and 2, apparently Chuck Noll will go for the field goal. Gary Anderson has hit on 36 of 16 field goal attempts this year. And he'll try to bring Pittsburgh 3 closer with just 22 seconds left in the first half. This will be a 25-yard field goal attempt. It's good, so Gary Anderson, out of the hold of Harry Newsom, the punter, splits the uprights and makes it a 9-6 game with just 19 seconds left. Again, we see Pittsburgh mount a good drive, but falter when they get down to touchdown territory. Turnover-free half. They had 6 turnovers in the second half against New Orleans a week ago.
Well, the second half is yet to come, and that's what killed them last week, was those 6 turnovers.
Gary Anderson drilling the field goal, his 7th field goal in a row. To make it a 9-6 game, and 19 seconds left. Anderson will kick it off. Don't forget, at halftime, we'll have all the scores and highlights. Frank DeFord with some feature material for you. So join Bob Costas and company for NFL Live at halftime.
That's not too big a deal that they didn't score a touchdown, because Pittsburgh only trails by 3, just a field goal right now. That missed extra point by the Seahawks now looms very large in this game.
Ron Blackledge there, one of the assistant coaches, talking to Mark Malone on the sideline. Squib kick by Anderson, finally taken by Morris. And Randall Morris comes across the 30 to the 31. Rod Woodson, the rookie out of Purdue, the number 1 draft choice of the Steelers, streaking downfield to make the tackle.
Number 1 draft choice on special teams.
On their own 30-yard line.
Well, just before halftime, we'll make a final check of the scores here, with Indianapolis adding to its lead another Biasucci field goal. 20-0 the Oilers. The Oilers tied with Pittsburgh, second place in the Central Division, and San Diego with just a game lead, actually a half-game lead over Denver in the West, and trailing 20-0 in the first half. Well, the first half will come to an end here as the clock ticks down. The 2 teams head for the dressing room. And the Seattle Seahawks will go to the dressing room in front. It's a 9-6 game. NFL Live halftime activities will continue in a moment. We'll be right back to Free River Stadium after these messages from your local station. The kickoff sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers.
Short kick.
Short kick is taken on the fly by Randall Morris, and Morris pounds straight ahead and fumbles the football. And Pittsburgh has it. Tyrone Stowe was down there after a 15-yard return. Morris took it on the fly and coughed it up.
They're going, I think, to give it. Right, they're going to give it back because he was down. The ground caused that fumble. You see Randall Morris go down. The ball comes unlocked or dislodged because of the ground impact, not because of a hit.
Well, there's Chuck Noll. He thought his team had the fumble recovery, but ruled not so. And it'll be Seattle's ball at the 35-yard line.
They're going to look at it again from upstairs.
Well, the replay has already come into play on the touchdown by Seattle. And we have a ruling that has come from the replay official, who is Mark Burns. He said that Largent had possession of the ball with his right foot down, got his left foot down before he went out of bounds, had possession at the top of the catch while his right foot was on the ground, and maintained possession throughout. That's an official quote from Mark Burns, the replay official, on the Largent touchdown. Here's a pitch to Williams for Seattle. He's got good running room and an 8-yard gain before he's tackled by Donnie Shell. Also, Delton Hall getting a piece of Williams, who took the pitch and rambled for 8 yards.
Delton Hall's been very active in this game. He likes to hit. We said that at the top of the show. He likes to come up and force that run. That time he got a piece of John L. Williams. They're turning the corner right now. The Seahawks are on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They caught him off guard a little bit that time.
Williams with 33 yards on the ground today. The number 2 rusher for the Seahawks. Had 336 yards coming into the game. Pitch it this time to Kurt Warner. Little stutter step, tries to get the corner, and is stopped short of the first down by about a yard. Dwayne Woodruff came up quickly from that cornerback spot, and Keith Gary came there to sandwich Warner and stop him short of first down yardage.
This is the toughest part of the game right now. The first few plays in the third quarter, you're just coming out of a nice warm locker room, and you have to come back out into the cold weather, and the hitting isn't there, your rhythm isn't there for the defense. Offensively, you've got to keep attacking the defense.
Seattle's been good on third down today, 5 of 7. This one is 3rd and 1. Warner. He didn't get it. He had to get to the 40-yard line, the 40-yard stripe, and the official is marking the football just about a half-yard short. Gary Dunn with an excellent play with help from David Little.
Pittsburgh Steelers defense, everybody rallies to that ball. They're chasing Kurt Warner. They attack the offensive line of the Seattle Seahawks, stop him up front, allows everyone to get in and push him back, make sure he doesn't pick up that yardage.
So 4th down and punt formation. Rodriguez, who got only a 26-yard punt on his other attempt, is in punt formation for Seattle. See, his first punt was a poor one. Woodson is deep for Pittsburgh. Left-footed kicker sends it sailing towards Woodson, and is taken again by one of the up men. Everett makes a fair catch for the second time on a Rodriguez punt at the 25-yard line. Only 30 yards that time by the rookie Rodriguez. There is a flag on the play. I think it's going to be against Seattle. They had an illegal man downfield.
Ineligible downfield, number 53 kicking team. Penalty decline, 1st down.
So Gordon McCarter with the call, and from the 25, Pittsburgh will put it in play. What seems to be the problem with the rookie Rodriguez and his punting?
Inconsistency. It's like a golfer who has a bad swing. He can't get that confidence up. He doesn't believe in himself anymore, and Ruben Rodriguez is that bad golfer. He just doesn't have the confidence.
Trailing by 3, Pittsburgh with his first possession of the second half. 13:01 to play in the third quarter. Pollard in motion. Abercrombie on the handoff. Good blocking up front. He plows straight ahead to the 30. 5-yard gain.
5-yard gain. Another straight dive play by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They come out of the huddle. They get up to the line of scrimmage. They take a look at that Seattle defense and then just get in there and take off and attack you. Kenny Easley, the leader of that defense right now, trying to get his troops fired up again.
2nd and 5 from the 30. Abercrombie. Stopped after a gain of 2 by Brian Bosworth. Abercrombie has carried 8 times now for 42 yards. Pollard 10 times for 63.
Brian Bosworth is still thinking just a little bit too much. You see, he's got to get up there and attack the ball. He's waiting around. If he gets up there a little bit faster, that's a bigger play. That time Abercrombie tried to go underneath him, it looked like.
Boz on the sidelines as it's 3rd and 3 for the Steelers. Double wide receivers to either side. Draw play, Abercrombie dropped in his tracks, back to the 30-yard line. Here come the boos. Fred Young wasn't fooled at all by the draw.
Seahawks had a blitz from the outside going that time. Fred Young, one of the leaders on the team in sacks. In fact, he leads the team in sacks. Gets in there and picks it up. Nobody picks up anyone. Jacob Green, Fred Young come from the outside. Paul Moyer, you see him there. The Seahawks had that play very well scouted.
Young holding his left shoulder a little bit as he left the field. Newsome in punt formation on 4th down. Calvin Sweeney of the Steelers already has injured his shoulder. Edmonds fields it at the 25. There's a flag on the play. Edmonds upended at the 35. That was Greg Carr that took his feet out from under him after the 46-yard punt by Newsome. And the flag back at the 30-yard line of the Steelers. It'll be against Pittsburgh.
Bobby Joe Edmonds, as a rookie, led the league in punt returns. You see him there trying to get up over the man.
Illegal motion, number 26 on the kicking team. Penalty decline, 1st down.
This could get you dizzy if you had to do this too many times for a living. Bobby Joe tries to jump over 2 or 3 people, never gets over them.
right, 11:06 to go, and the Seahawks still in front. Tom Hammond and Michael Jackson, producer Steve Dans, director John Gonzalez, Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Third quarter, 11:06 left, a 9-6 Seattle lead. Kurt Warner on first down, picking his way and got maybe a yard at best. Thomas Everett managing to string the play out. The pursuit caught up with Warner. They took him down for no gain.
Up front for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that defensive line is still attacking the ball. They're taking control of the offensive line of the Seattle Seahawks. Everybody's getting into their blocks and getting off. That frees up a lane for Thomas Everett to get into and make the tackle.
Well, Keith Gary, a 5-year veteran out of Oklahoma. Gary Dunn, 11 years out of Miami, which reminds us that Miami and Oklahoma will be meeting New Year's Day evening in the Orange Bowl to decide the national championship here on NBC after the Hurricanes took a hard-fought victory over the South Carolina Gamecocks last night. John L. Williams tries to get outside, lowers his head right at the first down marker, and will be marked, I believe, enough for the first down. Donnie Shell colliding with Williams, and Williams just lowered his head and got an extra 2 yards on the first down.
Donnie Shell had to fight around Edwin Bailey, number 65, the offensive guard for the Seattle Seahawks, and that's just a mismatch there. Donnie Shell there. Kurt Warner gets out and leads the block too, but Edwin Bailey freed that corner for John L. to pick up the first down.
Was that Chuck Knox on the sideline waving his clipboard saying, "Come on, John, come on, John"?
He gets out there and he gets into these games, I tell you.
First down, Seahawks, their own 47-yard line. 10 minutes, 15 seconds left in the third quarter, 9-6 Seattle. John L. Williams tries the other side. Lowers his head again and pounds into Pittsburgh territory down to the 48-yard line. Dwayne Woodruff met him at that point and finally stopped him. But the big 2-year veteran out of Florida trying the right side this time. Look at the waving.
He loves that. He wants to get out there and grab him and pull him up for that first down. He's excited about this. After last week's game, he said they took a good old-fashioned shoe dusting. That means that once they were down, the Raiders continued to kick them and get dirt all over them. He wants to turn that around today.
2nd and 5 for the Seahawks. Warner bounces outside. First down. Out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Donnie Shell forced Warner out of bounds. Was that play designed to go more inside, and then Warner saw nothing there and just bounced outside?
That was designed to go inside. Steve Largent, number 80, the all-pro receiver. Watch him come off your screen right there. He's got a block on Delton Hall, and it's almost like a trap. He's going to follow Delton Hall all the way in and seal him on the inside. That allows Kurt to get outside. 63
yards after a 10-yard pickup on that one for Kurt Warner. First down, Seahawks at the 37. Krieg will go to the air. Swings it to Williams. John L. is down to the 33-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers with Dwayne Woodruff and Brian Hinkle combining for the stop. Indianapolis, the Colts for real with Eric Dickerson leading Cleveland, and Cleveland 9-0. San Francisco, interesting note in that game, Joe Montana has broken Ken Anderson's record of 22 straight completions. He had 5 of 5 last week, 17 of 17 in the game today, 22 in a row for Montana to break Ken Anderson's old NFL record. 2nd and 6 here for the Seahawks. Flags down. Warner down at the 30. Robin Cole in the middle of that defense, stopping Warner. Tim Johnson was also in. He may have been the man that jumped offside.
Some more voice inflection by Dave Krieg is going to pick up another 5 yards for the Seattle Seahawks, unless somebody in that offensive line moves.
No, it will be against Pittsburgh. Chuck Knox about to pick up 5 more gift yards.
5 more.
It would appear to be simple that the defense simply watches the snap of the football, but you get so primed up sometimes.
Number 92 defense, 5-yard penalty, reproof, second down.
It was Keith Gary called for the offside, but you get just so primed up that and in such a rhythm of the offense that you go on a false count.
The ideal situation would be to go when the football moves, but as you say, you get so keyed up, you want to get off and make such a great play that you will listen to what the quarterback does.
5-yard penalty makes it 2nd and 1 for Seattle. Williams. It'll be close to the first down. Everett came up quickly from free safety. He stood Williams up. He got some help to throw him back, and it'll depend on the spot of the football.
They may have picked up the first down, but that's a very impressive hit by Thomas Everett to come in there and stop John L. Williams.
Tough hitting on the field here at Three Rivers. Let's listen to that last play.
Seattle ball.
Well, that was Everett sticking Williams with Keith Gary then coming on the scene to throw him back. But it was a Seattle first down. First down pass from Krieg, intended for Largent and incomplete. Delton Hall, the rookie from Clemson, right with Largent on the coverage. How good are these two rookie defensive backs for the Steelers, Everett and Hall?
Well, they've got a lot of potential. Delton Hall has the speed and intensity to keep up with anybody, and Everett has already shown that he's willing to hit with the best of them. Anytime you see a free safety stop a fullback in his tracks, you know you have somebody who can hit.
And of course on passing situations, Rod Woodson comes in, and so for about half the game, Pittsburgh plays with 3 rookies in the defensive secondary.
3 outstanding rookies.
2nd and 10, Seahawks at the 26 of Pittsburgh. Scansey in motion. Krieg across the middle and complete. Fumble. Pittsburgh's got it. Brian Hinkle recovers the fumble. And Robin Cole was the man that shook it loose.
It's a big turnover for Pittsburgh Steelers. They needed something to get them out of this situation. Paul Scansey, one of the best receivers with good hands like Steve Largent, just gives this one up.
And so Pittsburgh has the ball with recovery. The Steelers with a first down at their own 19-yard line, trailing 9-6, 7:19 to play third quarter. Frank Pollard cuts up across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Let's take a look at the fumble and recovery by the Steelers. Scansey with the catch, and Robin Cole, number 56, the only first-round linebacker choice of Chuck Noll, puts the hit right there, and a savage hit, popping the ball loose.
They've said that Scansey has taken a lot of shots over the middle. That time he paid the price and gave the ball up. Very uncharacteristic of him.
So Cole knocked it loose, and Little, number 50, the man that fell on it, and Pittsburgh dodges the bullet. They go now on offense. 2nd and 2. Abercrombie. Pollard trying to get a block. Abercrombie gets out of bounds right at the first down marker. Eugene Robinson makes the stop for Seattle last week. 6 turnovers all in the second half against New Orleans. This week it's been the Steelers playing error-free football and recovering that turnover by the Seahawks.
You can't win if you can't keep the ball. And right now Pittsburgh's doing a good job. They're getting back to their basic game plan, running that ball, getting it downfield, picking up the first downs, and using up the clock.
Pittsburgh is tied for first in the NFL with 7 fumbles lost.
Referee timeout. The chains did not pick up my first down signal. It is a 1st and 10.
There you see the chains now being realigned.
It's too cold to move out there. Nobody wants to move.
So the Steelers have been very good at not fumbling the ball. Only 7 fumbles, which is best in the NFL, despite 3 a week ago. First down at the 29 for Pittsburgh. Seattle reacting to a call by Malone, and they reacted well as Pollard was met in his tracks by Jeff Bryant. Well, back in 1981, Mark Malone was involved in the longest pass play in Steeler history, a 90-yard completion. But he was the receiver and not the thrower. Terry Bradshaw back to pass, and Mark Malone, making his first career start at wide receiver, catches it for 90 yards against Seattle and Michael Jackson.
I was telling everybody that we were still in the huddle. That replay shows that we were definitely up on the line.
Malone catching the pass from Bradshaw for the longest pass play in Steeler history, 90 yards. There are those that think he still should be on the receiving end of the ball instead of the throwing end. That one, though, is thrown complete to Weegee Thompson, who circles back. He had enough for the first down. He circled back, and he's going to be a half-yard short.
I think his height, he's about 6'6". That time he tried to get that left leg just past the first down marker, and he missed it. He's going up against a little bit smaller guy in Terry Taylor, who's only about 5'11". Catches the ball out in the flat, circles back like you said, and watch him try to kick the first down marker with his left leg. He doesn't quite get it.
So it'll be 3rd and 1 instead of a first down for Pittsburgh.
Weegee, I think, is the tallest receiver since Harold Carmichael with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Out of Florida State is about 6'6", 6'7". Dive straight ahead. Malone on the sneak gets the first down.
Plays like that, the first down, just a little thing, a quarterback sneak, even though it's a first down for 1-yard gain, that gets the crowd on Mark Malone's side, and that's what he needs.
John Stallworth brings the play in from the sideline. 5.5 minutes left in the third quarter. 9-6 Seattle. There's the veteran Stallworth, 14 years out of Alabama A&M. Pollard and Abercrombie realigning. And Abercrombie in motion. Pollard on the handoff. Blockers in front. And the ball loose. Pittsburgh got it back. Lucky bounce on that play, and it was Buddy Idolette who got the start today in place of the injured Ray Penny, who makes a crucial fumble recovery. 2 years out of Alabama, Idolette with a key recovery after Pollard coughed it up.
Fred Young comes in there and puts the helmet right on the ball. That's what they like to see. You get that helmet right on the ball, they can't help but give it up. Kenny easily misses the recovery, and Buddy Idolette comes in and picks it up for the recovery for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pollard has carried 13 times now for 75 yards. 2nd and 3 after the fumble recovery by Idolette. Is complete to Clinkscales, and Joey Clinkscales has the first down. Brian Bosworth took him down, but it's into Seattle territory, and a Steeler first down as Clinkscales, who is a replacement player out of Tennessee, replacing the injured Calvin Sweeney. Indianapolis continues to lead. San Francisco by 10. The Giants and Eagles in a 1-point game now. St. Louis has taken the lead over the Redskins. An odd score, 20-5, Houston over San Diego, but the Oilers still with a sizable lead over 2 touchdowns. 3:45 left in the third quarter. Pittsburgh on the move. Abercrombie right over the center of the line, down to the 37-yard line of the Seahawks as we finish with the scores.
Abercrombie seems to be slipping. Every time he gets the ball on the traps, once he makes that cut, he seems to lose his feet. That time he was following Wolfley up into the hole and seemed to slip underneath the tackle again. If he could stay on his feet, he could break some big yardage off against the Seahawks defense.
48,881 on hand at Three Rivers Stadium. Mark Malone. Complete to Clinkscales. He's at the 27-yard line. Malone did a good job of looking off the defense that time. Looked to the right, came back to the left, and fired it complete to Clinkscales. 14-yard gain and a first down.
Greg Gaines gets out there, but I'll tell you, Jacob Green is having a heck of a time getting in there. You'll see him on the left of your screen being covered by Tunch Ilkin. You really can't see him there, but Malone has plenty of time because they can't get Jacob Green. He's the best defensive pass rusher they have, and if he can't get in, then they'll have a lot of time to throw the ball.
Malone 9 of 14 for 76 yards now, and he's got his team on the move. First down at the 28 of Seattle. Weegee Thompson in motion. Handoff. It's given to Dwight Stone, who came in on that play, and Stone gets a short gain before Kenny Easley takes him down.
Joe Vitt, one of the coaches for the Seattle Seahawks, told me that they were going to line Easley up a little bit closer to the ball today to free him up. They've got, they call it a 33 alignment. They have Easley in the middle, and that forces the Pittsburgh Steelers to decide who they're going to block, either Easley or one of the other 2 inside linebackers.
Sweeney not in the lineup. He's injured. Clinkscales in to replace him. Weegee Thompson is in also. And the Steelers without leading ground gainer Ernest Jackson either. Pollard. They stood him up in his tracks, and then somebody sort of raked down behind him and took him down at the 25-yard line. No gain on the play. Kenny Easley, the tough Pro Bowl performer for the Seattle Seahawks. Look, he's got his ear holes taped up to keep that cold wind from whistling through there.
He's one of the most versatile Seahawks. He'll get in there and stick his nose in there any place. He comes from all over that field. Most teams try to take him out of the game by putting the tight end out wide.
3rd and 6 for the Steelers. Carter in the backfield with Abercrombie. Just a minute left in the 3rd quarter. Malone with protection. Complete to Carter. And it's enough for another Steeler first down. Rodney Carter out of Purdue, who is a replacement player for the Steelers, makes a crucial first down grab, and the Steeler drive alive.
Malone gets great protection again. Jacob Green does not take the right lane, but the pass is completed. What's interesting right now is Malone has that positive attitude, and the more confidence by these passes that he picks up, the more dangerous he's going to be to the Seattle Seahawks defense.
Let's see if the Steelers can convert it for a touchdown, though. That's been a problem the last 2 games. On the 16. Pollard had a head of steam up, but takes it down to the 11-yard line. Good reaction by the Seattle defense. Young and Bosworth inside the linebackers. Limit him to a gain of 5 yards on the play when it looked like he might be able to ramble into the end zone. 3rd quarter will come to an end. And the Seattle Seahawks are clinging to the lead, but the Steelers are knocking on the door. It's 9-6. Scoreless 3rd quarter is in the books, and as we begin the 4th, it'll be Pittsburgh with a 2nd and 5 from the Seahawk 11, trailing Seattle 9-6. Chuck Knox trying to rally his defense here, and the Steelers, with support from the crowd of 48,000, coming up for the 2nd and 5 situation. Pollard. Touchdown!
See some trap blocking. That was a perfect example of the trap. The right side of that Pittsburgh offensive line just collapsed the Seattle defense.
Anderson out of the hole by Newsom for the extra point. He's hit 169 in a row, making 170.
Offensively for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the left side of that offensive line traps. You see the down block by Terry Long on Jacob Green, frees him up. The man comes over. Kenny Easley tries to make the tackle. Pollard jumps over him for the touchdown, and they lead now in
River Stadium, where the Steelers have taken the lead 13-9 over the Seahawks. 14:56 left in the game. An 81-yard drive after the fumble by Scansey, and Pittsburgh has the lead for the first time. Anderson's kick taken by Edmonds. Dropped at the 22 by Ken Woodard. Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh touchdown as Pollard rambles for the score.
Number 74, Terry Long, gets over and seals off Jacob Green. Frank Pollard now is untouched until he gets to the end zone, and by that time it's too late. That's an excellent job of blocking up front by attacking the Seattle defense. Pittsburgh has taken the lead now.
Pollard's having a big afternoon. He's rushed for 92 yards so far. First down for the Seahawks as the fans applaud the defense here. Ball spotted at the 22. John L. Williams cuts back. Nice cut by Williams. He was one man away from breaking it big. He's across the 30 to the 32, where Hinkle trips him up with a saving tackle.
What happens on this play is the Pittsburgh defense, you'll see them slide down. They've got the play closed off at the outside there. Nobody has the back door. And John L. comes back through the back door, and without the exception of that saving tackle, he would have been gone a long way.
Went for 11. It could have gone for a lot more. First down Seahawks from the 33. Williams again. This time he can't cut back and is taken down at the 35-yard line. Robin Cole, the man that did the damage, number 56 for the Steelers.
Well, the difference in that play and the one before is everybody comes down the line of scrimmage.
This game property of the National Football League, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Seattle Seahawks, all rights reserved. The telecast presented by authority of the National Football League and intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the NFL is prohibited. 2nd and 8 for Seattle. Warner's carried for 64 yards. Williams for 62. Play action pass. Krieg completes it for a first down. A Seattle first down as John L. Williams crawls forward to midfield. Wayne Woodard pins him, but 14 yards on the pass play. Krieg to Williams out of the backfield.
John L. Williams is so dangerous, both as a blocker, runner, and a receiver. This time he catches the ball out of the backfield, and he's just going to lower his head and run over Dwayne Woodruff here, right here. He gets in there, and he's going. He almost stayed on his feet and picked up more yardage, but he's so strong as a blocker.
He was the number 1 AFC rookie rusher last year with over 500 yards and having a good game in Pittsburgh. From midfield, first down with Largent in motion. Krieg again will go to the air. He's going long. Complete to the 4-yard line. No, now they say incomplete. Darrell Turner appeared to have it and then lost it. They say he was juggling it. He doesn't agree with the call. Dwayne Woodruff was right there with Darrell Turner.
Dwayne Woodruff was right there. The free safety, Thomas Everett, had coming up. I think what happened is Darrell goes down. I thought he bobbled it when he first caught it, but you can see that it didn't come dislodged. That's just a good effort by Dwayne Woodruff to get his hand in there and make sure he sees it get up on Darrell's shoulder right there.
The pass is incomplete.
And he pushes Darrell down into the ground. That dislodges the ball. This is the decision you'll have to make on your own as to whether or not he caught that ball or had control of it.
I don't believe he did, and the replay official has ruled that he did not. He appears to have it there, but right there it's coming out of his arm, and he did not have control.
No, he never had control, and that's
Goes
the key
incomplete.
word.
Turner, the big play man for the Seahawks, 12 receptions this year, 5 touchdowns, but that one no good. Krieg again will go deep. Intercepted. Delton Hall picked it off for Pittsburgh.
There's a penalty flag down in the backfield. It's going to go against Seattle.
Number 7, the offense. Penalty declined. First down.
So Gordon McCarter says a holding penalty against Seattle. It's declined. And watch the secondary of the Steelers.
They're playing a man-to-man coverage. Delton Hall, number 35, is going to go all the way with Ray Butler. He plays the ball just perfectly, picks it off. Big turnover for the Steelers.
The Steelers on top 13-9, just having picked off a Dave Krieg pass.
Delton Hall playing the ball exactly the way you want your defensive back to play the ball and not the man. Go make that interception. That time he did it and did it well.
Butler did have a step on Hall, though, had the ball been thrown a little further downfield.
He was beaten, but you've got to play the ball. You can't afford to play the man.
Seahawks have turned the ball over twice. Pittsburgh is not committed to turnover, and the Steelers have it with the first down at their own 18. Abercrombie to the 23-yard line. Jacob Green. As you look at Abercrombie and Green getting up after making the tackle. Cleveland gets a touchdown. It's 9-7 Colts now at Cleveland Stadium. St. Louis leading Washington still, and still a 20-5 game, Houston and San Diego. Pittsburgh Steelers tied with Houston, a game back of Cleveland. And the Seahawks are a game back of San Diego, which is losing at the moment. Abercrombie again stumbles, but keeps his feet going and comes to the 27-yard line where Fred Young pins him. And Young, out of New Mexico State, a 4-year veteran, the leader in tackles on this team, the leader in sacks as well.
Fred Young has a nose for that football. He's just going to come up there and wherever the ball's going, you can just be sure that Fred's going to be around it. That's all I can say about it. He has a great ability to find out where that ball's going.
3 straight years he's led the Seahawks in tackles, was in the Pro Bowl, and leads this defense in 87. 3rd and 1 for the Steelers. Abercrombie dives, he's flipped around, and I believe he got the first down after all that.
That's one tough way to get a first down. Sometimes you got to give your body up. That time Abercrombie did.
He looked like a pinwheel as he went careening through there.
Fred Young again is in on this play, but watch Abercrombie. He launches his body. Fred hits him. Bosworth hits him, and then he just flips over.
I gave him a 9.7 on that degree of difficulty. I don't know what it was.
I think I have to go a 9.9 on beauty.
First down Steelers. They're at their own 29. Clock shows 10.5 minutes. Pittsburgh leading 13-9. Here's Pollard. Wrapped up at the 35-yard line with a flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
Tripping.
Against the Steelers.
I think Craig Wolfley, number 73, is going to get caught on this one. He got outside. They pulled the entire line of Pittsburgh Steelers, and Wolfley comes and tries to trip Bosworth right at the end of the play.
Number 73 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Well, I saw that big leg sticking up there from number 73. He was kind of trying to trip Bosworth and some of the others, and they nabbed him. Not
only did he trip Bosworth, he tripped just about the whole Seahawk defense with that big old leg.
Like a sequoia tree trunk out there. 1st and 18 for Pittsburgh now. They're backed up to the 21. Draw play to Abercrombie. Gets some of it back, takes it from the 21 out to about the 27, perhaps the 28.
Pittsburgh Steelers are doing an excellent job up front again with that offensive line. They're tying up the defenders for the Seahawks. They're trying to arm tackle. That's why Abercrombie picked up, what, 5 or 6 yards that time? Nobody completely got rid of their man.
Pretty good 1-2 punch with the Baylor boys, Abercrombie and Pollard. Give a lot of credit to that offensive line. They've done an excellent job today. 2nd and 10 now for the Steelers. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Malone on a screen, complete to Pollard. He's got blockers in front. At the 40 and down to the 42-yard line. First down, Pittsburgh.
Excellent call. Excellent call by the Pittsburgh offense. You don't see the conventional screens anymore, and that was one of them right there. It was off the trap action. You're going to see that offensive line get out in front of the screen. They're just going to come screaming downfield. Terry Long's out there, seals off the outside. There's a grab out there, but that never gets called by the officials anymore, and it's just a great play.
Tunchilkin, who many consider to be Pittsburgh's best offensive lineman, missing a block on the screen, but it still goes for a first down. Malone, 11 of 16. He hadn't completed any bombs, but he's been effective in short and medium range. He'll try again. He's under pressure. Got away from the rush and throws it incomplete. Ouija Thompson on the sideline, the intended receiver. But Malone, feeling the pressure, did a good job to scramble and avoid the sack.
I think he was a little bit surprised that Kenny Easley was in his face, and even more so that Easley didn't make the tackle. When he gets out here, he's just going to rush the pass. If he had slowed down, he would have thrown that ball in there for another first down.
Malone showed a little strength, too. Took his left hand and just knocked Easley away.
You don't see that very often, that Kenny Easley misses a tackle.
2nd and 10 for the Steelers from the 42 of Pittsburgh. Blitz. And the give to Pollard. Twists and turns and got a yard. Thrown back for the defense. Jacob Green leading the charge for the Seahawks. Jeff Bryant was also in there. Fred Young was coming on a blitz. They picked him up and ran the other way, so it didn't really matter.
No, the Seahawks are stringing that out very well right now. They're controlling the line. You know, the momentum of this game has switched so much from the offensive line to the defensive line. Whoever wins that battle up front is going to win this game.
Rushing game important for both teams, and the Steelers winning that statistic. With Frank Pollard, the primary ball carrier, now only 4 yards shy of 100 for the day. Bosworth went in motion. Malone looks for him and threw it right by him. Melvin Jenkins of Seattle is closest to the football, and Malone is upset.
What's going on is Malone is getting pressured. The same thing happened when Easley blitzed him. Paul Moyer, number 21, comes from the outside, but they've also got people coming from the inside, and Malone is getting the time, but he's rushing the ball.
Interesting to see Malone chewing out the veteran Stallworth right after that play. He went right to Stallworth and said something to him. Newsome with the punt. Bobby Joe Edmonds has a beat on it. Takes it at the 12. Tries it up the sideline. Taken down at the 22-yard line, and a flag on the play. It'll go against Pittsburgh. Greg Carr, after a 45-yard kick by Newsome downfield. And Carr on the tackle also will be called for the penalty, I think.
What happened was there was a defender who came in. He's going to
unnecessary roughness. Piling on after the play, number 20, kicking team, 15 yards, first down.
Well, it's Dwight Stone for the piling on. Stone, number 20, guilty of piling on, and it gives Seattle pretty good field position when we come back. Stadium, watch this late hit by Dwight Stone, a foolish penalty here. Wham! He gets him right in the head, and that costs him 15 yards.
The officials were right there to jump on that one.
Pittsburgh penalized 63 yards today. Seattle penalized 0. 13-9 Steelers. Warner on the sweep. Across the 40 to the 43, where David Little trips him up. It'll be second and about 5 coming up.
From here on out, it's going to be ground chuck. They're going to move down. They've got good field position. They're just going to try to control the ball and get down there and get this touchdown.
They trail 13-9, just over 7 minutes remaining in the game. Seattle a game out of first in the AFC West. Pittsburgh a game out of first in the AFC Central. Dave Krieg, complete to Largent. He slides to the 45-yard line of the Steelers, and the Seattle first down, where Donnie Shell stops him. Largent today catching a pass for the 149th straight game, a string that began in 1976. Begins that NFL string that today reaches 149 games in a row. Steve Largent, Michael, what makes him such a great receiver?
His concentration, the way he watches that ball in. He's got great concentration.
He's given Seattle a first down at the 44 of Pittsburgh. Pump once by Krieg, scrambling. Completes it to Tice, the tight end. He might have been looking for Williams, but Tice at 6'7", got the big paws up to take it short. And he's taken down by Hardy Nickerson.
Well, it's easy to find Mike Tice in a crowd. He's the one with the big hands.
Indianapolis still clinging to the lead. Green Bay makes it a little closer. Everyone, the fans of these two teams, keeping their eyes on the San Diego-Houston game. The Redskins regain the lead. And the Rams now by 11 over the Detroit Lions. 2nd and 3, Dave Krieg and the Seahawks. Williams stumbles and is taken down by Thomas Everett, and he might have lost a yard.
This is crunch time right here. The Pittsburgh Steelers have to play that excellent defense. The Seahawks obviously are going to try to get in and get the touchdown. This is gut check time right now.
Chuck Knox hopes his team is equal to the task. After a loss of 1, they'll face a crucial 3rd down with less than 5 minutes to play, and Pittsburgh holding a 13-9 lead.
Seahawks have 4 wide receivers in there.
3rd and 4. Pittsburgh has taken a timeout. So the Pittsburgh defense, spotting something they weren't ready for on the offensive alignment, takes a timeout, stopping the clock with 4:39 on the sideline for Seattle. The Seahawks with a 3rd and 4 coming up from the 38-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you look for here, Michael?
Right now, I think the Seahawks are going to pass the ball. They came out with 4 wide receivers. That's why Pittsburgh called a timeout. They have the wrong defense, and they're going to try to pick it up by the pass.
It's complete for a Seahawk first down. Making the catch, Ray Butler in first down territory. Dwayne Woodruff beaten on the play, manages to stop him, but the Seahawks keep their drive going.
They had this play shut down. Ray Butler, the outside wide receiver, was played just a little bit too soft. You don't even see a defensive back there until he catches the ball. They're playing him a little bit too soft, and that's the guy, number 49, who was supposed to be covering him.
Dwayne Woodruff finally stopped him, but he had all sorts of room on the sideline. Warner tries to get outside, turns the corner, cuts up for a gain of a couple. Mike Merriweather, who's been quiet today, the outside linebacker, makes the tackle. Chuck Knox hoping that he can get a score with 3:59 left. Chuck Knoll trying to rally the defense and getting some help from the crowd of 48,000. First downs all even in the game at 16 apiece. On the scoreboard, the Steelers up 13-9. Warner got a yard on the last play, setting up 2nd and 9. Good protection. Now Krieg scrambles. Down at the 25-yard line. David Little caught him from behind. Hinkle came over to help.
The defensive secondary of the Pittsburgh Steelers is doing an excellent job right now. They're covering the receivers very closely. Dave Krieg has to pull the ball down and run for yardage this time.
The game could come down to this Seahawk drive. 3.5 minutes left. And another third down for Seattle. They've converted 6 of 9 third down situations in the game. Approaching 3:20.
Largen's not in the game right now, so it's up in the air as to who they're going to go to on this passing situation.
Largen may have been shaken up. Krieg in trouble. Fumble. They'll unstack them. And Seattle got it back, but it'll be 4th down.
Pittsburgh Steelers just committed the ultimate sin. They had 2 guys who had a chance to pick that ball up or just fall on it. They tried to pick it up and run with it instead of falling down on it.
Here's Krieg again. He's going to scramble. Robin Cole, number 56, applies the pressure. Takes the feet out from under him and the ball as well.
He gets his hand on the ball, and that's what you try to do. Dave Krieg is notorious for running with that ball out there like a loaf of bread. That time they got it taken away from him. But fortunately for the Seahawks, they retain control of the ball.
Tony Dungy on the far side with a defensive call. Brian Millard recovered it for Seattle. They've got it 4th and 14. Again, pressure on Krieg. He lets it go for the end zone. Incomplete. Broken up by Delton Hall, the rookie.
Delton Hall has played an excellent game. He's done more than one thing in this game. He's got an interception, got a headbutt, and now he has a pass deflection that may give the Pittsburgh Steelers this victory.
Michael, I'm very impressed with the youngsters in the secondary for the Steelers.
I am too. They've got a one-on-one coverage because it is an all-out blitz. Dave Krieg lets it go, and it's just every man for himself at this point. Delton Hall's playing this ball very well. Darrell Turner has no choice but to try to go over the top of him, which he can't do there.
Hall reacted to the football and batted it away, intended for number 81 Darrell Turner. So Pittsburgh takes over with the first down at the 37, 2:07 to play. This will be the last play before the 2-minute warning, unless Seattle stops the clock. Pollard to the 40, falls to the 41, and will reach the 2-minute warning. 15-9 over the Seattle Seahawks. Tom Hammond and Michael Jackson from Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Very important game for each of these teams, and right now Pittsburgh will try to work on the clock. As Pollard, who has gone over 100 yards for the 4th time in his career, carries for 1, and Seattle takes a timeout, stopping the clock with 1:55 left. Well, the Seattle Seahawks, we said, Michael, they had to bounce back from the loss to the Raiders, and so far today they have struggled a little bit against a very tough Pittsburgh team.
Well, they have struggled today. As we said at the top of the show, they usually bounce back very well. Today, Dave Krieg has been very ineffective, 91 yards passing, Kurt Warner has not rushed for 100 yards. Largent has had his nice game, but they have not done anything special to win this game.
Kind of a quiet game for Largent, only 2 receptions, 26 yards. The Pittsburgh Steelers, well, they've run the ball effectively. We know that Pollard already has gone over 100 yards for the 4th time in his NFL career. Remember, he was replacing the leading ground gainer of the Steelers, Ernest Jackson, in the lineup today. Malone has had a good day. He's 99 yards, 11 of 18, mostly short completions, but they've been effective. Pollard has been the big running back, and Anderson with 2 field goals. It's been a team effort for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3rd and 3. They need the first down or they have to give the ball up. Pollard dives forward and gets the first down.
Now there's some fisticuffs going on. There's going to Terry Taylor and Walter Abercrombie getting into it. A little temper squaring right now. And now a flag goes down. That always happens.
Well, Abercrombie, you don't see the running backs in there too often, but he was right in the face of a couple of Seahawks.
I think the Seahawks are going to get called on this one.
Well, the penalty, could be crucial here because Pittsburgh had picked up a first down with 1:40 left in that 13-9 lead.
I think the Seahawks are going to get called with this one. I don't know who started it, but I know Taylor went to the face of Abercrombie, and Abercrombie retaliated, and then everybody came in on it. A lot of fingers being pointed right now.
They're checking the number.
Gordon McCarter's checking the number.
Whose number do you think they're checking for?
The number of that truck that ran over somebody there. I don't know who it was, but Chuck Knox and his Seahawks faced with a short week and coming on the road after a Monday night game. As you say, traditionally have played well in that role. But in the cold of Pittsburgh, they're on the short end of the score right now with 1:40 left.
Well, you know what's going on. You've got 2 teams that are, I wouldn't say desperate, but desperately seeking playoff contention. Pittsburgh Steelers are just a game out of first place in the Central, and the same thing with the Seahawks out west.
And the Steelers look up to see that the Cleveland Browns are losing to the Colts, which could move them into first.
We have unnecessary roughness. Offsetting fouls by both teams after the play. The penalty's offset on the receiving spot.
That means first down, doesn't it?
First down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cleveland does still trail Indianapolis by 2. Giants putting it to the Eagles today. Washington now airing it out against St. Louis after trailing for a while. Houston appears to be on the way to victory. Latest Oilers score was a run by Mike Rozier, the 2nd leading ground gainer in the AFC. Chuck Noll needed a win today, and he appears to be on the verge of getting it. And a lot of people say that the Steelers don't have the talent to be a divisional champion. They've got a quarterback rated last in the NFL in passing, and yet here they are. If Cleveland loses and the victory here would hold up for Pittsburgh, here they are in first place in their division. Pollard. He'll lose a couple of that 100-yard total. He had 103. He's going to be back to about 101 after that one. Seahawks stop the clock again. 1:35 left, and the Steelers holding the lead. Seahawks 9. Crucial game for these 2 teams. 1:35 left on a cold afternoon at Three Rivers Stadium. Pittsburgh scoring in the 4th quarter to take control of the game. They recovered a Seattle fumble, went 81 yards for a touchdown, and they have the ball right now. 2nd and 11. Abercrombie. Flag down. Abercrombie blasted to the turf after a short gain. We'll check the penalty.
That's going to be holding, I think. When they throw it that far back, you've got to consider holding. And in this situation of the game, that's a big crime.
They'll mark it off against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It'll be offside and not a hold. Offside, but it is against Pittsburgh.
Well, that was a deep throw by that flag to be just offsides. In fact, it was very late.
Offside in the neutral zone at the snap. Number 62 on the offense. The penalty was declined. Third down.
Tunchilkin is called for the offside, lining up in the neutral zone. You don't see that often on the offense.
I've never seen that. I think he's a little bit anxious to get to Jacob Green there. He was offside, so he was anxious to get to Jacob Green and keep him out of that backfield.
Now it's 3rd and 10. Seattle has to stop them and get the ball back. 1:30 left in the game. It's 13-9 Pittsburgh. Malone on the bootleg. Makes a nice cut. He's got the first down and more. Malone slides down at the 20-yard line. A great play call by Noel and his coaching staff. 35 yards, the bootleg by Malone.
And he's getting a standing ovation, and he deserves one right now. That was the biggest play of this game right now. An excellent play by Malone. They don't come any better than that play right there.
You said that the Steeler teammates of Malone still had confidence in him.
Well, they still have that confidence in him. The press has been trying to get Bubby Brister in there, but this play will keep Malone in that starting position for a long time to come. That's why his teammates still have that confidence, because of plays like this. And that was a smart move to slide and not go out of bounds, too.
Malone even got a vote of confidence from Brister in the media this week. Just go down to try to kill the clock. 30 seconds left.
They're celebrating down on the sideline. Those Pittsburgh Steelers are very happy.
Chuck Knox facing a long ride back to Seattle. His Seahawks have just used their final timeout. 29 seconds left, and Pittsburgh on its way to victory. I'd like to thank our spotters, Tim Fogarty and Mike McGinley this afternoon, and George Jordan on stats. Dave Krieg. The team had taken a big victory over San Diego, and then suddenly back-to-back devastating losses to the Raiders and now to Pittsburgh.
I think it all has to do with teams in black jerseys or something like that. Big game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They needed this to stay in contention for the title of the AFC Central, and the Seahawks did too. Unfortunately for the Seahawks and the Seahawk fans, the Pittsburgh Steelers wanted this game more.
Thanks to all our NBC crew here at Three Rivers today, headed by Steve Dans, our producer, John Gonzalez, our director. And the Seahawks can't stop the clock. It'll run out, and the celebration is on here at Three Rivers Stadium. Pittsburgh is very much in playoff contention here in 1987. The touchdown that won it, remember, Pittsburgh recovered a fumble by Scansey of Seattle. They then marched 81 yards for the touchdown, and that was the game winner for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was Frank Pollard, who went over 100 yards today, that took it in for the touchdown. And our Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser, is Frank Pollard of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. Pollard with a winning touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Pittsburgh, with the win, goes 7-5, and the Seattle Seahawks now 7-5 as well. Now